On our wedding anniversary, my husband insisted on inviting his entire bro squad to celebrate together. Then showed up a female bro I'd never seen before. She sat on my husband's lap while video calling. "Mom, I'm here. Your godson's right beside me." Then she turned her face close to his. "Hee hee. Marshall, if you dare treat me badly, I'll have both our families gang up on you." The glass in my hand fell to the ground. All eyes turned toward me. My female friend raised an eyebrow. "Lillian, I was just joking. You don't mind, do you?" Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. The private room fell silent instantly. So quiet you could hear a pin drop. Subconsciously, I looked at Marshall. He smiled and tapped Monica's head affectionately, saying in an intimate tone, "Today is my wedding anniversary with my wife. Don't make trouble." The woman pouted coquettishly and naturally wrapped her arms around his neck. "All right, since you're treating me to a welcome-back dinner, I'll give you this face." The waiter came in to clean up the glass shards and handed me a new glass. Someone tried to smooth things over. "Lillian, don't take it to heart. Monica has always been blunt, but she means no harm." I remained silent without speaking. Monica glanced at me. "You're not really that petty, are you?" As she spoke, she released her arm from around Marshall and jumped down from him. "Then I'd better stay far away from you, lest Lillian comes home and makes a scene, turning your household upside down." Then she shook her head and sighed, teasingly saying to that group of brothers, "Now you know why I don't like hanging out with girls. Right, too pretentious and sensitive. So annoying." No one responded to her words, and the atmosphere instantly became somewhat awkward. Someone hesitantly whispered a warning. "Monica, today's their wedding anniversary. Maybe you should tone it down." At this moment, Monica covered her mouth as if suddenly realizing, "Oh my, I almost forgot. I actually brought a gift." She pulled out a velvet jewelry box from her bag and presented it to Marshall like offering a treasure. Ding dong ding. Opening the box reveals a pair of gemstone cufflinks gleaming with a lustrous sheen, lying quietly inside. "Men's style." Someone gasped in admiration to show appreciation. Marshall smiled and said, "You've come all the way back home. I should be the one preparing gifts for you." Monica shot him a playful glance with a smile and reached out to fasten it for him. As she moved, the matching cufflinks on her sleeve shimmered brilliantly under the light. "Humph. This is a style I carefully picked out. You'd better not fail to appreciate it. You brat." Someone is secretly eyeing my expression. Clenched fingers leave crescent-shaped marks in the palm. I stood up. Marshall frowned. "Where are you going?" I curled the corner of my mouth. "I'll go get a room for you. Otherwise I'm afraid you'll start going at it right in the private room." Monica slammed down her chopsticks and bowl. She started cursing at me in the private room, saying my words were too harsh. What's wrong with this woman? I told you we should just hang out with the guys. Why bring a woman along? Now she's ruined everything with her nonsense. Marshall chased after me, sounding urgent. "Honey, Monica didn't mean any harm. It's just a pair of cufflinks. She's usually quite casual. Don't take it to heart. Besides, what you just said was a bit too harsh." I curled my lips into a cold smile. "So you gathered your brothers today actually to celebrate your childhood sweetheart's return, right?" Marshall shifted his gaze uncomfortably. "Why so serious about it? Besides, celebrating this anniversary just between us two would have been too quiet anyway. Wouldn't it be more lively if I invited more people?" Seeing my expression growing increasingly unpleasant, Marshall held me back and softened his tone unusually. "Honey, don't overthink it. I've known Monica for so many years. If anything were to happen between us, it would have happened long ago. Didn't I still choose to be with you in the end?" I was almost amused to the point of anger. "That's really too embarrassing. I've taken the place of your childhood sweetheart." "Fine, I'll step aside voluntarily." Marshall flushed red, abruptly shook off my hand, and his tone turned sharp. "What nonsense are you talking about? What do you mean yours and mine? You know perfectly well that's not what I meant. Lillian, you're being completely unreasonable." With that, he turned and left without giving me another glance. Yet his steps gradually slowed, waiting for me to compromise and chase after him as I always had before. I turned and walked away. How utterly disgusting. Marshall, it was already 3 a.m. when he got home. He was drunk, disheveled, reeking of alcohol, staggering as he tried to hug me. I frowned and dodged, but he grabbed my wrist. A strong smell of alcohol wafted into my face. Happy anniversary, honey. Look at the gift I bought for you. With that, he took out a jewelry box from his pocket and opened it in front of me. It's that high-end jewelry set I've liked for a long time. My gaze fell on the 2 empty spots in the jewelry box. Marshall scratched his head somewhat sheepishly. Accidentally let Monica see them. She said the bracelet and ring were pretty and insisted on taking them. I thought you already had plenty of bracelets and rings. So I gave them to her. Seeing that I didn't take it, he tried to force the jewelry box into my arms, comforting me in a coaxing tone. Honey, don't be angry. Okay, if you like it, I'll buy you another one. All right. I took half a step back, letting the jewelry box fall to the ground with a loud clatter. Marshall paused, pursed his lips to restrain his temper, then forced a smile as he coaxed. Honey, I was wrong today, and I apologize to you. I shouldn't have brought so many people to our anniversary. But look what this is. As he spoke, he pulled out a small cherry cake from behind his back. I stared at the cake, my thoughts swirling. On the day we got together, he gave me a cherry cake. Later, we made a promise to celebrate every important occasion by sharing a cherry cake together. Memories of all the little moments we've shared over the years flashed before my eyes. With a sigh, I reached out and took it. Fine, I'll forgive him one last time. Seeing me unwrap the cake, Marshall broke into a wide grin. As he fed me, he tentatively began. Honey, Monica just returned to the country and hasn't found a place to rent yet. Can she come stay with us for a few days? She promised me she won't cause you any trouble at all. The sickly sweet taste of cake in my mouth instantly made me nauseous. I rushed to the bathroom and couldn't hold back from vomiting. Marshall followed anxiously, patting my back. What's going on here? I pushed his hand away, rushed to the table, and smashed everything to pieces. With reddened eyes, I glared at him. If she can come, then I'll leave. Marshall changed his expression, raising his voice. What are you making a fuss about now? I've already told you she's just staying temporarily. Are you really going to run away from home over such a trivial matter? The light in my eyes faded. I shook my head, forcing a faint, bitter smile. Let's get a divorce. Marshall seemed completely caught off guard by my words. He flew into a rage and viciously kicked the overturned table on the ground. Lillian, are you out of your mind? Now you're really pushing it. I locked the door to the master bedroom. Marshall found the door wouldn't open after his shower, furiously pounded on it in frustration, then slunk off to the guest bedroom. The next day, he sat at the dining table with a cold expression, a lavish breakfast spread out before him. I scoffed, pulling the cold shoulder and washing underwear routine. Who are you trying to fool? I cast a cold glance and walked expressionlessly toward the door. Marshall couldn't take it anymore. Lillian, don't be so ungrateful. You were also at fault yesterday. You shouldn't casually bring up divorce as an angry remark. Without turning my head, I said in a calm tone, I'm serious. You'd better get ready. After closing the door, the sound of shattering dishes came from inside the house. By the time I arrived at the company, my emotions had completely settled. Work efficiency remains as high as ever, and almost no one can tell I'm emotionally troubled. During the meeting, the leader asked in the conference room, recently, the company has an international order that requires a 1-month business trip to Europe. If anyone is interested, please contact me. The company will cover all expenses and provide a business trip allowance. Marshall was bombarding the chat box. I turned off my phone and spoke loudly. I can go. After the meeting, a close colleague pulled me aside, sounding puzzled. Lillian, you've been abroad for a month. What about your husband? I spoke as if it didn't matter. Oh, he has his childhood sweetheart to keep him company. He won't be lonely. The colleague, realizing they'd spoken out of turn, awkwardly closed their mouth. When I got home in the evening, I noticed an unfamiliar suitcase in the entryway. It was a glaring bright pink, covered in messy stickers. I took off my high heels, only to find that my house slippers had also been taken. My expression suddenly turned grim. Walking barefoot a few steps forward, I suddenly heard a coquettish laugh. Oh my Marshall, your cooking skills have improved so much after not seeing you for years. Monica was stepping on my cherry-patterned slippers, eating with greasy lips. In her hands were unmistakably my bowl and chopsticks. Seeing me approach, Monica seemed startled. Ah, Lillian, how come you walk without making a sound? You didn't even give a warning. That's so scary. Marshall, you're even more timid than I am. You must suffer every day being scared by Lillian. Right. Without a word of nonsense, I directly slapped her face twice with loud smacks. Then he smashed the bowls and chopsticks on the table. Monica was stunned by my hit at first, then immediately flew into a rage. You fucking dare to hit me. Marshall heard the commotion and rushed out from the kitchen, pulling the furious Monica back. Monica squirmed incessantly in his arms. Marshall, did you see that? Is your wife crazy? She hit me the moment she walked in. How can you tolerate this lunatic? Why are you pulling me? Help me fight back. Marshall looked grim and roared at me. Lillian, what madness is this? Apologize at once. The corner of my mouth curled into a smirk. Oh dear. I'm so sorry. You had your back to me. I didn't see clearly. I only saw a woman wearing my shoes and using my bowl. Thought it was a thief. You see. Monica blushed, looking somewhat guilty. I didn't know this was yours. She was clearly doing it on purpose. I love cherries, so almost everything I own at home has a cherry logo. Seeing my apology, her expression changed. Softly nestled in Marshall's arms, she revealed the reddened side of her face from being hit, her eyes glistening with tears. Lillian, I'm sorry, even if it was an accident. I shouldn't have touched your things. I raised an eyebrow slightly, but Marshall clearly fell for it. He patted Monica on the shoulder reassuringly, then frowned at me. Lillian, you've really gone too far this time. With that, he supported Monica and took her to the guest room to help apply medicine. I quickly packed my luggage and went straight to the hotel. Before long, my phone was blowing up with calls. Where have you run off to after just a short while apart? Marshall's voice carried impatience. I said coolly, weren't you in a hurry to take care of your childhood sweetheart? Why come looking for me? Marshall was provoked by my words, his tone laced with anger. I'm just cleaning up your mess. Monica's face is swollen. Go buy some ice and bring it back quickly. I let out a cold laugh. I've heard saliva works better for reducing swelling. She'd probably prefer that. With that, I decisively hung up the phone. My phone vibrated with a message from my boss. Lillian, I've already completed the procedures for your business trip. Your flight is the morning after tomorrow. I calmly replied. Understood, boss. I'll be there on time. After careful consideration, I decided to send a message to inform Marshall. Although I've decided to divorce, it doesn't stop me from being a responsible adult. I was typing in the chat box when my phone vibrated again. It was a friend request notification, added via phone number. The profile picture showed a hot figure, and the nickname was Queen Monica. I knew almost instantly who it was. I never gave Marshall Brothers my phone number. The only one who could have given her my phone number was Marshall. I approved the request. Neither of them spoke, but her social media feed was rapidly updated with several new posts. The earliest one was from this afternoon, back home, staying temporarily at my best bro's place. The accompanying image shows a table full of delicious dishes, with a man and woman's hands wearing matching cufflinks visible in the bottom right corner. Got hurt by a crazy person, and my good bro insisted on going out late at night to buy medicine for me. The accompanying image shows a table of medications and a man's hand holding a cotton swab. Hee. I want him to compensate himself to me, and he didn't object. The accompanying image shows the back of a man, seemingly exhausted and asleep on the sofa. I calmly turned off my phone, taking out my laptop. I continued revising the project materials needed abroad. Everything may betray you, but money won't. After finishing the project presentation in the meeting room, the leader patted my shoulder encouragingly. Lillian, well done. I'm confident in trusting this project to you. Keep it up. I'll increase your bonus after the project is completed. I humbly thanked them, showing my first smile in days. I had planned to stay at the hotel for another day, but suddenly remembered something. That's right, my passport. These important documents have always been kept in the bedside drawer at home. I left work early and took a taxi straight home. The door opened. My eyes widened slightly. On the floor, a woman's crumpled stockings were scattered. Moving forward, women's underwear, men's ties, and socks were scattered everywhere. I found it somewhat amusing. They really know how to have fun. Gear exploded all over the place, until I reached the master bedroom door. My smile froze. My silk pajamas were thrown on the floor, with unidentified stains on them. Anger flared up inside me. I took a deep breath and pushed the door open. Monica was dressed lightly, straddling Marshall, and Marshall was wearing nothing but a pair of shorts. Seeing me suddenly return, Marshall changed his expression and stood up in a hurry. Honey, why are you back? And no. Listen to me. We didn't. Monica interrupted her with a soft laugh, her tone coquettish. Lillian is back. Don't misunderstand. We're just playing cosplay. It's a summer swimsuit theme. We didn't do anything. I walked forward expressionlessly, step by step. Marshall's face turned slightly pale. Lillian, nothing really happened between us. You have to believe me. I raised my hand. Marshall instinctively lowered his head, raising his arm to shield himself. With a click, I opened the bedside drawer, waving the passport in my hand. I said with a hint of amusement in my voice, I was just grabbing something. Look how scared you got. Monica also burst into laughter with a pfft. Haha, Lillian has such a great attitude. Marshall secretly glared at Monica and nervously pulled me aside. Are you planning to go somewhere with your passport? Before I could speak, Monica stepped out of bed with her long legs completely bare. I heard from Marshall that your job requires frequent business trips. This time it must be a long trip. How long will you be away? You guys are always in long-distance relationships. Lillian better not cheat on me. I turned to face her. Who the hell do you think you are? Talking to me like that? Before the words even finished, I kicked her straight in the stomach. Monica was sent flying backward several steps, knocking over the floor lamp by the bed. A black footprint was clearly imprinted on her pale belly. Unable to get up, she pointed a trembling finger at me, weakly gasping. You dare hit me. I smiled. Marshall, I'd even dare to hit her biological mother. Who do you think you are? I've been practicing Taekwondo since elementary school and earned my black belt in middle school. To this day, there are still very few people who can beat me in a fight. Marshall has witnessed my skills and doesn't dare to stand up. Just silently ran over to help Monica up, only to be met with another round of complaints. I didn't want to keep watching this despicable couple's antics, so I turned and left. But Marshall caught up with me. Lillian, where exactly are you going? I said in a normal tone. I'm going abroad for a business trip. Marshall paused mid-sentence. Nothing really happened between us. You kicked her, so you should have vented your anger by now. Stop giving me the cold shoulder. The long-suppressed fury churned in my chest, and I let out a bitter laugh. I hit her, but forgot to hit you. Marshall stiffened and nervously closed his eyes. Nothing happened. By the time he opened his eyes, I had already reached the entrance. Marshall was somewhat taken aback, his voice faltering. Lillian, how come? You're different from before. The door was opened. I lowered my eyelashes. Think carefully about what I said earlier. Slept soundly through the night. Early in the morning, I arrived at the airport carrying several large and small bags when a young man spotted me from afar and came over to greet me. He was dressed in a simple white t-shirt, looking fresh and clean, exuding youthful energy. I took off my sunglasses and asked, "And you are?" He flashed a bright smile. "Hello, Sister Lillian. I'm the new intern at the company. Keith, the boss assigned me to accompany you on this business trip. Feel free to throw any odd jobs my way." I gave him a once-over. He was well-built and looked like he'd be quite useful. Previously, because I had a family, whenever the company arranged for a colleague of the opposite sex to accompany me on business trips, I would always refuse. But now, thinking about the divorce agreement I had my lawyer send to Marshall before departure, I nodded non-committally. While checking in, I sat on a bench and idly played with my phone, when suddenly a video arrived, sent by Monica, in a smoke-filled, chaotic bar. Marshall and his whole crew were present. On the table lay props for a game of truth or dare, with everyone egging them on. Kiss, kiss. In the center of the frame, Monica, wearing a tank top, is draped over Marshall's lap as the two kiss passionately. The person filming chuckles mischievously while zooming in, the sound of their wet kisses faintly audible. The video was deleted moments after I finished watching it. Oops, sent that by mistake. Lillian, my apologies. I was playing games with them last night. Lillian, don't mind it. I didn't reply, just quietly set her as a special contact. Good. If we ever need to file for divorce, these can all serve as evidence. Keith handed me a bottle of water and accidentally caught a glimpse of what was on my phone. Looking somewhat awkward. Sorry about that. I waved it off. No worries. Just my soon-to-be ex-husband and his broti. Keith exclaimed indignantly. What a complete jerk. I chuckled casually. I actually hope she posts more. If it comes to a lawsuit, I might even get a bigger share of the money. As we were speaking, Marshall's call came through. His voice carried a hint of anger, hoarse from a hangover. Lillian, what's this divorce agreement the lawyer sent me? My voice remained calm and steady. I've told you many times about the divorce. Marshall choked up. But I've never agreed to it. I don't agree. I grew somewhat impatient. I know. That's why I filed with the court. Didn't I? Marshall's voice softened. Honey, let's not get divorced. Okay. I've never done anything to hurt you. Keith came over to help me with the luggage. Lillian, let's go. Our flight is about to board. Hearing the young man's voice, Marshall was startled and raised his voice sharply. Who is this man? Lillian, you're going on a business trip alone with a man. A gleeful female voice came through the phone. Marshall, what did I tell you? I warned you before. Women who travel frequently for work are dangerous. Marshall got provoked by these words and spoke more aggressively. Lillian, you promised me you'd never go on business trips with members of the opposite sex. Don't go this time. Come back right now. I let out a cold laugh. Go back. And sleep where? With you in bed and your girl bro. I doubt there's any room left for me. Is there? Marshall paused mid-sentence, sounding somewhat guilty. What nonsense are you talking about? I just drank too much yesterday, and she gave me a ride home. My tone grew even more sarcastic. Right. You had such a fun time gaming yesterday. Naturally. You'd drink a little more. The voice on the other end of the phone sounded startled. How did you know? I turned it off immediately. 7. Just got off the plane. Missed calls kept popping up. The notification sounds kept chiming. Did you turn off your phone? Did you forget what you promised me before? I don't allow you to go on business trips alone with a man. What's your relationship with that guy? Are you really just colleagues? Do you even see me in your eyes? Have you ever given me respect? The barrage of messages stopped 2 hours ago. Monica also sent a message. 2 pictures. One shows intertwined fingers. The other a man's sleeping face. The message was sent an hour ago. I blocked Marshall and pinned Monica to the top. Save all her messages, social media posts, and previous videos as evidence. Then focus entirely on work. After collaborating for over half a month, to my surprise, Keith's abilities far exceeded my expectations. He hardly seemed like a fresh college graduate. He jogged over with a stack of documents, his attitude humble. Lillian, could you please take a look at this part 1 wrote and see if it's correct? I carefully read through it once, speaking in a calm tone. Keith, you're already writing better than me. Why do you always ask for my opinion? Keith scratched his head sheepishly. Was I being too obvious? Lillian, I want to pursue you. I picked up the coffee beside me and took a gentle sip. You should know, I'm already married. He looked at me with a serious gaze. But you're already preparing for a divorce. I understand. I won't do anything before your divorce is finalized. It's just that, Lillian, after you regain your freedom, could you consider me first? A faint blush crept across his fair face, his eyes holding a trace of shyness yet staring at me unwaveringly. My heartbeat skipped a beat, somewhat struck by the young man's sincerity. He turned his face away slightly uncomfortably. Let's talk about it later. Although he didn't get a definite answer, Keith's eyes lit up. But I never expected that Keith was actually the company's young master. That day, a photo of me having coffee with Keith was taken by someone with ulterior motives and posted online. The photo was shot from a misleading angle, making it look like the two of us were kissing. The accompanying headline was also quite eye-catching. HY Group's heir apparent's foreign girlfriend exposed. Keith came to me with a very ashamed expression. I'm sorry, Lillian. I've dragged you into this. I didn't mean to keep it from you. It's just that my father wanted me to anonymously gain grassroots experience. But I never expected those paparazzi to be so insane. I shook my head. It's fine. I don't mind. To be honest, I really don't care much. Not to mention that I'm just an ordinary person. This incident has basically no impact on my life. The photo only captured half of my face. And unless someone knows me very well, they probably wouldn't recognize me. As soon as the words were spoken, an unfamiliar call came through. Lillian, where on earth are you? That woman in the news is you, isn't it? No one knows your face better than I do. You actually had the audacity to cheat on me while abroad. Then came the woman's voice, seemingly comforting but actually fueling the fire. Marshall, calm down. Lillian just made a mistake that any woman could make. You should forgive her. I smiled faintly. Marshall, you're truly despicable. You and that bitch beside you are a match made in heaven. Marshall froze for a moment, followed by an outburst of furious roars. I moved the phone away. Remember to go through the divorce process with me after returning home. Then block this number. But he kept calling from different numbers, determined to get answers. I had no choice but to turn off my phone directly. The next day, the news had been taken down across the entire internet. Keith still hung his head, looking somewhat guilty. I'm sorry, Lillian sis. I've caused you trouble. I shook my head with a wry smile. How many times do I have to say it? I already told you it's fine. Maybe I should even thank you. Thanks to you, I can cut ties with that scumbag sooner. Keith knew exactly who I was talking about, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. Does that mean I'll have a chance to pursue you soon? Before the words had even finished, a shadowy figure rushed out from nowhere and punched him square in the face. Keith was stunned by the blow, and the moment he recognized the face of his assailant, the two instantly grappled in a fierce fight. The onlookers snapped out of their shock and rushed forward to pull them apart. Marshall grabbed him by the collar and roared, "So you're the little bastard messing with my wife, huh?" Keith fired back. "I've been wanting to teach a scumbag like you a lesson for Lillian for ages." The fight escalated violently, and it took considerable effort from bystanders to finally pull them apart. Marshall was panting heavily, his eyes red, trying to grab my hand. "Darling, let's go home." Keith stood in front of me, still calling her darling when you're almost divorced. Don't even think about taking Lillian away. Marshall was furious. "What gives you the right to say that? Shameless homewrecker." I frowned at Marshall and said, "Get out now, or I'll call the police." Marshall froze, staring in disbelief. "Lillian, what do you mean?" I was extremely impatient. "You don't know what I mean. The divorce papers were sent to you a long time ago. What are you pretending not to know?" Marshall took half a step back, looking deeply hurt. "But I thought you were just angry, so you gave up on me for him. Have you two been together all along?" A hint of anger crept into my voice. "Don't throw mud at me. We have nothing. You're the one who cheated during the marriage." Marshall shook his head in denial. "No, honey, I didn't." I interrupted softly, word by word. "Did you forget that there are surveillance cameras in both the living room and the study at home?" Marshall suddenly turned pale. Marshall returned to the country with us. Along the way, he walked with his head down, constantly trying to win me back. Yet I didn't even spare him a glance. After returning to the country, he refused to sign the divorce papers no matter what. Instead, he came to my company every day to make his presence known, making a big show with flowers and fireworks. I feel utterly disgusted and endlessly annoyed. In the end, I could only find Keith to help ban him from entering the company again. Marshall still wanted to confront me, so I had to send him the evidence I had previously saved from Monica. I enjoyed several days of peace. I moved into the small apartment I bought before marriage, and while browsing through my social media feed during my free time, I noticed Monica has been posting a lot recently. That old woman is disgusting, always resorting to tattling behind people's backs. "I've liked you since childhood. Why have you never noticed me?" Followed by some melancholic love-themed posts, accompanied by photos of revealing outfits and videos of drinking at bars. In the video, I saw many familiar-looking men, all Marshall S. brothers, TSK, playing quite the field. There had been no progress on the divorce for several days, so I sent a few screenshots from the living room and study surveillance footage to Marshall. The phone rang soon after. "Lillian, we both had too much to drink that day. I just lost my mind for a moment." I interrupted him. "I don't care about these things. Just sign the divorce papers quickly." "Marshall, I don't want this to get too ugly." The voice on the other end choked with emotion. "Lillian, I never thought about divorcing you." I let out a cold laugh. "Right. What you really wanted was to keep the wife at home while having affairs on the side." The other end of the phone fell into silence. With no words spoken for a long time, I issued an ultimatum. "The divorce papers have been sent to you for a long time. If you don't sign them within 3 days, I will take legal action." Marshall finally signed. That day, he looked utterly devastated and had lost a lot of weight. I really only meant for her to stay temporarily at first. I had no intention of hearing him out. With a wave of my hand, I got into a taxi by the roadside. Later, I heard from others that Monica insisted on living with him. Marshall was utterly annoyed but couldn't shake her off no matter what. After some back and forth, Monica got pregnant. She seized the opportunity to force marriage. Marshall was pressured by both families into marrying her. But after marriage, Monica completely changed. Constantly paranoid that other women would steal her man, she follows Marshall everywhere, eyeing the women around him with hostility, not even sparing his colleagues at work. Marshall's work was greatly affected because of her, and his attitude toward her became very poor. During an argument one day, Monica was accidentally pushed down the stairs, losing the child and suffering severe physical and emotional damage. Harboring deep resentment, one day when Marshall left for work, she drove her car into him, resulting in both their deaths. I sighed, lamenting that one who brings about his own destruction cannot be saved. Keith fed me a bite of cherry cake. Sis, why the sudden sigh? I shook my head and smiled faintly. It's nothing, just something unimportant. The end.